Hey everybody, Melissa from Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia here. I love talking about sleep because sleep is really important with fibromyalgia. There is a lot going on and it is very complex. So let's dig in a little bit, shall we? I'm not sure at what point insomnia is considered chronic, but I'd suggest that around 20 years and many failed workarounds counts. So I have struggled with sleep in a big way since I was a teenager, and at the moment I'm sleeping better than I ever have before. So I want to share with you the things that have helped me in case they help you. So just before we get into my experience, where I've come from, and then what I do now, we need to kind of talk about what insomnia is. So insomnia is defined as trouble falling asleep, trouble staying asleep, waking too early, and poor quality sleep. Now in fibromyalgia you can have any number of those, but generally poor quality of sleep is like a defining feature of fibromyalgia. So I have had all of these things. So fibromyalgia is often devoid of the REM and the deep sleep, and those are the important stages of sleep where our brain is kind of doing a self-cleaning process, filing things away, that kind of thing, and it explains the fatigue, the pain, and the brain fog. And there have been studies where they have purposely deprived people of sleep and they've ended up with symptoms similar to fibromyalgia. So my before picture is pretty grim. So like I said, I've struggled for a long time with sleep. Like I was put on amitriptyline at like 18 or 19 because a locum doctor saw my history with sleep problems. I don't know if they suspected fibro or anything like that, but it goes back that far. But I remember in 2010, right before I kind of started on this journey towards better health and well-being and advocating for myself and looking after myself, I would get up at like 5 a.m, if you can call it getting up when you've hardly slept. I'd stand in the freezing kitchen, wait for my heat pack to heat in the microwave and take it back to bed. And then I'd spend the next 2 hours dozing and just hoping that the heating pad would help my neck pain because they would be very, very high. And then I would spend the day at work in a fatigued stupor. I barely got by. I don't know how I kept my job, to be honest. And I really, every day, wondered how on earth my body kept going. I was so tired. In the evening, I was too fatigued to do anything other than watch television series on DVD that I had already seen before. I could not read and I could not watch new TV. I'd be exhausted. I'd toss and turn and stare at the ceiling for a long time before I could even get to sleep. I'd wake frequently, like every 30 minutes. The nights were really long and painful and upsetting. Like it was a long battle. Like every night was misery. And I'd wake up feeling worse than I went to bed. So over the years, I've tried many things and lots of them, don't really help at all. But recently I've managed to put together a bit of a protocol that supports me. I think this needs to be taken into the context of my overall improvement. I believe that we've got a lot of root causes to work on, central nervous system dysfunction, for example. But I'll share a little bit about what I do. So it starts with a holistic plan. We've got to calm down that nervous system. There's no two ways about it. You're not going to get deep sleep if you're basically sleeping with one eye open, metaphorically, of course. But I do meditation. So I do a yoga nidra guided meditation about 1 o'clock every day because I can't nap. And even when I'm sick enough to nap, I don't feel great when I wake up. And I do breath work. So I call breath work my little sprinkles across the day. And my yoga nidra is like the hose to turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. I avoid stress as much as possible, which is very hard to do when you've got 4 small children because managing them by myself is stressful. Anyone with 4 young boys would attest to that. And I do my best to manage pain because pain is really important. And also I avoid overtiredness by pacing as well as I can because I was finding that overtiredness and getting kind of wired when I should be trying to go to sleep was a problem. And so besides all of these things, now we get to like what I actually do to go to sleep. So, I mean, no one ever promised it was going to be easy, right? So what I do to actually go to sleep. I take Recovery Factors amino acid supplement about 8:30. And then I take slow release paracetamol. I take quetiapine at about 9 o'clock and low-dose naltrexone at about 9:30. I get ready for bed, I read, I do a body scan, meditation, and then I fall peacefully into sleepland. I get up maybe once in the night, and I will get woken by children or my husband. Invariably, every night someone wakes me up, but I'm usually able to go back to sleep unless it's like close to 6. And I wake up feeling nearly refreshed. However, I don't kind of judge until I've shaken off the sleepiness. So I'll get up and I'll sit with my coffee and my heat pad and some toast for about 15 minutes. I don't actually judge any of my symptoms until at least an hour into the day, because you always feel a little worse upon waking. But now I can generally sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. 8 would be extraordinary, but at least 7 now. I get into the normal range for deep and REM sleep, usually the bottom of normal, but I'm still happy about it. I mean, it's still a big change. And I feel clear in my brain, like in a way that's really hard to articulate, but it's like several layers of like fuzz has been taken off. It's not perfect, and obviously I do a lot of things to make it work, but it works for me, and I'm really grateful. So what I hope is that something here inspires you to consider adding it to your routine. I'll leave a link below with a blog post that has linked to extra information. So I've got information about quetiapine, low-dose naltrexone, recovery factors, body scan meditations, all of those things. I also have information about nervous system. Like, I've just got a ton of resources, so I hope that something helps you. I also have a get on top of your sleep worksheet kit that you can purchase to kind of be like a guided journey through creating your own best sleep routine. And I'll put a link to that below as well. Tell me, what are the best things that have ever helped you with your sleep? I'd really love to know, so that we can share the knowledge for other people, because as you can see, it's been a long journey and it's a lot of work. And so each person's going to be unique. So as many ideas as we can give, the better.